In tonight's episode, we discover that being cooped up in a house with your parents really can be absolute death. In the New Zealand comedy horror, Housebound. Hi, and welcome back to All the Gory Details. I'm your host, the Thor of Gore, Kieran Odinson, and this week we're looking at the 2014 Kiwi horror comedy sleeper hit, Housebound. This week, I'm joined by writer, blogger, and author of the upcoming novel Who's Afraid, Maria Lewis. Welcome back, Maria.
Hi.
Directed by Jared Johnson, Housebound follows the story of Kylie, played by Morgana O'Reilly, aka Naomi from Neighbours, who gets sentenced to house arrest with her folks after she tries to steal an ATM. After some unexplained occurrences in her house, including having her ankle grabbed by a spectral hand, Kylie begins to suspect that the house is haunted. She starts trying to solve the mystery of the house and discovers that it was once a halfway house, which was the site of a grisly murder. And it's through Kylie's investigations that we discover what secrets the house actually holds within its walls. Housebound really knows how to create atmosphere and tension, and it had me truly transfixed from beginning to end. However, it's the relationships between the characters that's what really sets this film apart, with a truly unique sense of New Zealand humour that worked so much more for me than the arguably more famous recent New Zealand horror comedy, What We Do in the Shadows. Morgana O'Reilly never really did anything for me with her work on Neighbours, but I found myself absolutely loving her in this film. She's smart, all her decisions make sense, and in the hands of a less skilled actress, the character of Kylie could have come off as sullen or unlikable. But O'Reilly really gives Kylie a spunkiness that has you rooting for her from start to finish. The other two highlights of this movie are Rima Tawata as Kylie's casually racist mother, and Glen-Paul Waru as Amos, who is right on board with the haunted house concept with hardly even a question. Maria, what were your thoughts on Housebound?
I love this. Being a Kiwi, you've got to love something that's so original and unique within the genre, because that's what it is. This film just hits you. It's something that New Zealand hasn't really offered up before, excluding, What We Do in the Shadows, which you touched on before. And I think it is a really nice coincidence that in 2014 we had both What We Do in the Shadows and Housebound, which are, in my opinion, two of the funniest and scariest and most wittily put together horror comedies ever, let alone from New Zealand within the same year. And it's kind of interesting now because Housebound's actually going to get an American remake. And you touched on how great Kylie is, that character, how she's spunky and she's fresh and she's kind of like the suburban girl with the dragon tattoo. Like, she's edgy and she's so clever. She's someone that the audience can really relate to.
As opposed to all of the horror heroines in the past who have just left you just going, why? Why are you going upstairs? All of her decisions make sense.
Run out the front door.
Yeah.
You're right, her decisions make sense. And she's just on point, and as a performer, she gives such a great portrayal of this character that I'm really interested to see who they end up casting in the American remake, because it's something that on the surface people just go, oh, throw Kristen Stewart into that because she's sullen and blah, blah, blah. But there's such a layered nuance, I guess, to what Morgana O'Reilly ends up delivering that's what makes it so much fun for the audience. But I think the big thing for me, what I really loved about it, was how it really kept you guessing the whole way through. It's kind of delivered to you as this supernatural thriller, and then it comes a horror comedy, and you're never really sure exactly what the key mystery is or exactly what the final aha light bulb moment is right until the last 10 minutes.
Aha moment. Can we do Oprah hands?
Yeah.
So what is the truth?
but it is that thing of, like, you think you know what's happening and you're like, aha, I've got this, and they hit each genre beat perfectly.
Yeah, totally.
And then it switches up on you and you have a different thing, and then they hit all those beats and then it switches up on you again. It's such a cleverly made film that I can completely understand why American producers and American audiences want to jump on this. I don't really get why you just wouldn't give it a release in the US,
totally.
because I think Housebound's
Because it was
perfect.
so beautifully made as it was.
Right.
I don't know how you could improve on
And
it.
Peter Jackson's been trumpeting it, so I mean, like, slap a new marketing campaign on and throw it out there, because it's such a cleverly done movie that I think once you take it out of the New Zealand setting, you're going to lose a lot of the charm, a lot of the homegrown charm.
That's why it worked, because it is so uniquely a New Zealand film. And I think it will just feel cookie cutter if they try and rework it for American taste.
Exactly, and the casually racist mother reminded me so much of both my own mother and grandmother.
We all have a relative like that.
Yes, but the way it identified different social groups and social tropes was just like so, I don't know, characteristically Kiwi, that it's going to be a shame to see an American version. But I absolutely loved this. If I had seen this in 2014 instead of at the start of 2015, it would have been in my top 10 best movies of the year list, like for sure. And it's just so touching. It's funny, it's scary, it's like really nuanced. And there is a moment when I cried. I actually cried, and you gave me this look like, what the fuck? But it is a beautiful moment. And I think a movie that can make you laugh, cry, and jump at the same time is something that's really special.
Totally, absolutely. There's just so much to love about this movie, and it's got heart. It really does.
Yeah.
The central reveal at the end, it really gets you right in the feels.
Yeah, it does. It hits you like right in the feels, like right again and again and again in the feels. And just when you can't think you can feel any more, it hits you again. Because it's amazing. It's a great movie.
Amos as a character, I love how on board he is with the concept right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like, as a character that should be the skeptic, he's just,
he's the audience. Essentially, what I love about it is Amos is the audience. He knows that ideally he knows that he's in a horror movie. So he's like, right, look at the camera in this, and the temperature's dropped here. And the audience is going, yes, that happened in Paranormal Activity. And yes, that's what you do in like Insidious or The Conjuring.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a nice...
What Zelda Rubinstein does in freaking Poltergeist.
Exactly. So that's kind of nice because the audience get to play along with him. Whereas the character of Kylie is kind of everyone else. You know, it's kind of, she's the anti-horror fan in a lot of ways, which is really nice.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in, Maria.
Thanks so much for having me. I
Where
love
can
this
we
movie
find you?
so much. You can find me on Twitter @MovieMaz, and you can find me on Facebook @MariaLewisWriter. You can find my website at marialewis.com.au. I'm on Instagram @MovieMaz as well. And at the start of 2016, you can get my first book, which is called Who's Afraid, which will be out in Australia and worldwide.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me.
For more hijinks from Maria and myself, you can check out our previous reviews on It Follows and Body Melt, here and here. Thanks for watching, Gore Whores. See you next time.